Hello, this is Miss Pat from Samuel's Public Library. Science Scouts today is going to be learning about metamorphosis. That's the changing that animals might go through during their life. Our story today is going to be about the caterpillar and the polliwog by Jack Kent. A little foreshadowing tells you what they're going to become. So caterpillars aren't like other folks. As ducks and hippopotamuses and you and I get older, we get bigger, especially hippopotamuses, but not caterpillars. They turn into butterflies. Turning into something else like that is not a thing that just anybody can do. Down by the pond there lived a caterpillar who was very proud of being different. She bragged about it to her friends. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the snail. "That's nice," said the snail, who really didn't care one way or the other. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the turtle. "I don't blame you," said the turtle, who didn't much like wiggly things. "When I grow up, I'm going to turn into something else," she told the polliwog. "What fun," said the polliwog. "What are you going to turn into?" But the caterpillar hurried on her way, looking for someone else to tell her secret to. "I wish I could turn into something else when I grow up," said the polliwog. "You will," said the fish. "All polliwogs do." "What am I going to turn into?" the polliwog asked. But the fish saw a tasty bug and dashed after it. "When I grow up," said the caterpillar, who had circled the pond and was going around for the second time. "When I grow up," she told the polliwog again, "I'm going to turn into something else." "So am I," said the polliwog. "You?" The caterpillar was so surprised she almost fell into the pond. "The fish said so," the polliwog told her. "Fish know things. They go to school." The caterpillar was upset. "I thought only caterpillars could do it," she said rather sadly. "What are we going to turn into?" the polliwog asked. "Well, I'm going to turn into a butterfly," said the caterpillar. "Then I guess I will too," said the polliwog happily. "What fun! Let's do it together." "All right," the caterpillar agreed, although she would rather have done it alone. "But I get to go first." The polliwog didn't mind. He wasn't at all sure how it was done. "I'll watch you," he said. So when the time came, the caterpillar started to spin a cocoon. "This is the tricky part," she said. The polliwog watched as the caterpillar spun. Soon only her head was uncovered. "Now I have to close the lid," she said, "and when I come out, I'll be a butterfly." "Go ahead," the polliwog said excitedly. "I want to see you do it." "It'll take a while," the caterpillar warned. She started spinning again and was soon out of sight in the cocoon. For a long time, nothing happened, but the polliwog was patient. He watched and watched and watched. What's happening? For days and days and days. At last, there was activity in the cocoon. The end of it opened, and very slowly, the caterpillar climbed out. Only she wasn't a caterpillar anymore. She was a butterfly, a beautiful yellow butterfly. The polliwog was so excited, he hopped up and down with delight. He hopped up and down like a frog. I was so busy watching you, he said. I didn't notice what was happening to me. You are a very handsome frog, the butterfly said, as she flew off to try her new wings. But the frog was puzzled. I thought I was going to be a butterfly, he said. A caterpillar wiggled by. When I grow up, he said proudly to the frog, I'm going to turn into something else. But the frog wasn't listening. He was admiring his reflection in the water. I am, you know, a very handsome frog, he said. So we just read about two animals that go through a metamorphosis, right? Two animals that changed from what they were when they were born to something else. So we are going to, there it is, talk about these. All right, so a metamorphosis is a series of physical changes that animals might go through because when they're born, they don't exactly look like what they're going to be when they grow up. All right, and you might see this picture here. You have an egg. When it hatches, you got this little chicken, and that's going to turn into something different. He doesn't really look like that when he's older, all right? A full-grown hen kind of looks a whole lot different than that, especially from the egg to that point. All right, so the life cycle of a butterfly, and we're going to talk today a little bit about monarch butterflies. Okay, monarch butterflies, you probably see a lot of them right now. September and October, they're moving, they're migrating. That means they're moving from one place to another. Okay, so they like to lay their leaves on the bottom of milkweed leaves. And when they hatch, the caterpillars will eat the leaves. Then they'll hang upside down. Right? So here's our caterpillar. He's like yellow, black, and white. Eventually, they're going to hang upside down on a twig, and they're going to make a chrysalis, also known as a cocoon. But usually it's a chrysalis if it's a butterfly, and a cocoon if it's a moth. All right, when they come out, they're going to be butterflies. Now the monarch butterfly is going to be orange and black. There's another one that looks like this as well that will be orange and black. But these ones migrate. And this is just showing you a picture of what it does when it's a chrysalis. So see, he's hanging upside down on the tree. Right? Then he's going to start making his little chrysalis around him. Right? Until he's completely covered. Doesn't look like a caterpillar anymore. And then when he's coming out, right, that greenish chrysalis kind of gets see-through, and he starts coming out, and he has to hang there for a little while. And that's because when he first comes out, his wings are all wet. So he has to hang there until they can dry, because butterflies don't fly very well with wet wings. That's why they don't come out in the rain. Okay, so he has to wait till his wings dry, and then they can fly away. And they will fly all over North America to this one place in Mexico. Okay, well, and I shouldn't say all over because a lot of the ones on the West Coast, they're just going to go right there. But everybody between the Rocky Mountains and the Atlantic Ocean, all the way up from Canada, all the way down, they're flying to this one place. And look at all these monarch butterflies. This is in Mexico. Okay, so there are millions of them there. Okay, and they will fly. And these are the ones that are born in the late summer, early fall. These are the ones that will fly all the way down there. And they will live. And they will start flying back somewhere around April. And then they're not going to make it all the way back up to us though. So then, because they've lived the longest, these are the ones that live all through the winter down in Mexico. They'll probably make it to about Texas. Then they're going to lay eggs. And the eggs will be born and they'll fly a little bit further. And then they're going to lay eggs and they're going to fly a little bit further and they'll make it all the way back to us. And then those ones are going to lay eggs and those are the ones that are going to fly back to Mexico. So only the ones that are born in September and October are the ones that are going to live a really long time. All right, and this one talks about the life cycle of a frog. Remember our little Polliwog there? Okay, so they lay a lot of eggs. They kind of look like a little jello, a lot of little jelly things with little white black dots inside of them. Okay, and those are tadpoles. Okay, so when they first come out of those eggs, they're tadpoles. They kind of look like little fish. Their big heads, tails. And as they get larger, they're going to get 2 back legs. They'll get their 2 front legs, but they still have that tail. Eventually, that tail's going to shrink, and then they can come out of the water. They can start jumping out of the water. They can breathe air, right? As opposed to down here, they had gills so that they could breathe under the water. Now they can breathe air when they come out, right? And that's who's going to lay the eggs again. So let's see what our stem bag is going to be. So our stem kit is going to have all of this stuff. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do, right, you'll have these 2. This is the pictures for your butterfly, and these are the words that go with it, tell you what's happening. Right? And I'm going to tell you guys to color that one at home so that it kind of looks like this. Right? And then you can kind of cut them out. You don't have to cut them out perfect. You can cut them out in a circle. Right? You can cut them out in a square. And what you're going to do, you'll have plates to go with it. And we've already got one of the plates cut. All right, it's got a really big cut for you. And then we have one that has a smaller cut. Okay, so the smaller cut is going to be for your frog. The big cut is going to be for your butterfly. You can write this on the other side. Life cycle of a butterfly. Draw a picture if you want. And then all I did with the words was glue them. I cut them out in rectangles and I glued them in 4 quarters. Right? And I kind of cut this, but you don't have to, because I made mine the bottom. You don't have to. You can leave the bottom plate completely together, but don't cut all the way to the middle because you want to make a hole. Okay, you want to make that hole. And then you're going to take your pictures after you cut, color them, and you're going to glue them on as well. Now, you can leave one of the plates whole, and you can leave one of the plates you definitely have to cut. And the reason is, I'm going to put these on top, and I'm going to make sure that I've lined them up right. So it says butterflies lay eggs. So I have underneath my egg picture, right, I have my little words here that say butterflies lay eggs. And now I'm going to put this on top so that I can see my eggs. And you guys are going to have a couple of these little brackets. So you might need a pen to poke a hole there, because these things aren't very strong to go through 3 plates. Once you poke a hole and you put the bracket through, you're going to bend it in the back so it stays. You can bend it both ways. Right, mine just fell apart. I made my hole too big. All right. So now I have life cycle of a butterfly, and I have my picture. And if I go like, this, I can read the words to go with my picture. I can turn this to the next one, and now I have my caterpillar. And again, if I pull down this thing, I can read my words on the caterpillar, and I can go through the life cycle of a butterfly. Now with this smaller one, right, and I say smaller because it's got a smaller opening, you can do the same thing with the frog. The frog has 5 pictures, okay? He's got 5 pictures, and he's got 5 words. So on one of the plates, you'll put in 5 different spots, you'll put these, and then on another plate, you'll cut out these things. These ones are already colored. And then you can write down life cycle of a frog and attach the plates. And then you can kind of go through there, and you can see your plates, see your life cycle, see your stages of life That big word, remember, we said was metamorphosis. Okay, metamorphosis. That's when something changes from when it's born and goes through different changes to become a whole different looking animal than when it was born. Right? Just like our polliwog and our caterpillar did in our story. Right? And that's going to be our activity for this week. So if you want to see the book, we got the book here at the library. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the lesson this week, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Next week, we're going to make elephant toothpaste. Okay, so come on back next week. Bye.